on the highway.
Sorry.
It's raining, it's filthy, the air conditioning's not working. But we're on the way to the Hoffs to get some tuning done. Everything on.
Nice sunny.
We're at the Hoffs. She's bolted to the dyno. Let's get this thing tuned.
As always, we're down here to see the Hoff at Nugget Garage to get the Torana tuned. The Hoff tunes most of our cars, all of our cars, most of them. Where we left off previous episode in the shed was 2 days ago, and now we're here, and not much has changed apart from we've got a coolant overflow. Did you fix that coolant leak? It still leaks coolant. Alan made a catch can. I've got the Raceworks catch can hooked up, but we're still waiting on some fittings for that, so we've dummied that into our Zinger box catch can at the back there.
Catch box.
Catch box. Zinger box. Zinger catch.
Catch box.
And that's really about it. Bonnet's been bolted back on, still needs to get adjusted because Torana old car things.
Because it's old and you, whatever way you turn it, it does the opposite to what you think it's going to do. Even if you do it twice and reverse it.
Panel beater mark job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're on the Hub Dyno. Let's get the Hoff's opinion on how much power it's going to make and make some noise.
Hoff.
What do you reckon, Hoff?
It's a JZ.
Yep.
Happy. Should be able to knock this one out pretty fast.
Yep.
What sort of power you want?
What sort of power do you think? We're limited to 30 PSI.
Well, that little 1J that I sold to Aaron, it had a 3076 on it, and 30 pounds it was 520-ish.
Alright.
That was stock cams though.
Well, Lee only wanted 300, so...
Yeah.
Anything above 300 is a bonus.
Oh, it's okay.
Do you like the Zinger box?
Yeah, yeah. Has it actually got chicken in it?
No, we already had the chicken.
We already got the regret.
Seems like a good idea at the time.
That's always KF, isn't it?
Yeah. Alright, E85 in it.
Yep.
What size injectors?
1,000.
Yeah, you're
Lobbies
going
ones.
to be right on the end of your fuel too.
Good on you, Golby. God damn it.
Base pressure? Don't know, find out. To a sensor.
It's got a thingy on there. It's 50
And what
PSI,
pump?
I think.
Good pumps. 2 hopefully.
Bosch.
525.
No, like a 400.
460. 1.
Bosch 400.
Yeah.
Yeah, one.
How come you haven't told the Hoff this up already?
Because we don't communicate.
You just message him on a Sunday and
We
say,
just nod and
yo,
Yeah.
hey, can we get a tune done
then the
tomorrow?
Hoff goes,
So-
"Ee!" and it makes 500.
Okay, my prediction is we're going to run out of fuel pump.
Okay, cool.
Maybe.
Told you to put a bigger fuel pump in it, Lee.
450-ish. Because to make those injectors go to 500 with AFR1, I need, probably 65 pound base pressure. And I don't know if the pump's going to keep up, but we'll find out.
The Hoff, everyone.
Figure it out. Yeah. Yep. All right, let's give it a go.
Sweet. What didn't you bolt the seats in?
Recliner seats. I just stuffed them in here so they weren't in the way.
Ali. nervous? Are you nervous? Hey! Oh, nice shorts, mate. Look at them on too. Done?
We're done.
Yeah?
We turn it up and then turn it back down again because Lee's scared.
And then turn it back up.
It can be turned back up, but we've turned it down for the moment. It'll only have like 520, not 500 and whatever it was, 70. What was it? 578.
Why are you weak?
Hey?
Why are you weak?
Look at the size of it.
How much does it weigh again?
Probably about 1100 at the moment.
1,100 kilos?
Is that 200 pounds?
I don't know.
2,200 sacks of flour?
580 horsepower at the wheels. I thought we were done at 500, but then Alan told the Hoff to turn it up a little bit, so the Hoff turned it up.
Then I said turn it down, and he turned it down, but it went up because he's that good.
And then once we actually reached 580, it got turned back down, so now it's safe for Lee to
We've
drive.
turned it down to, no, still going to be a problem. I'll take the boost pipe off.
We're heading back to the shed now because we're done. There's a massive storm on its way. It's actually like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but it looks like it's night time. Thanks to these two dudes for getting us in. As always, check out Nugget Garage. They do some really cool stuff, like this cool little KE10 with the 12A that's really obnoxiously loud,
13B.
and Ethel's VL. If you haven't checked them out, then you're a chooch because I promote them every single time we're down here, and you should be watching them. So time to head back to the shed. We can do a proper shed skid now, and we're going to do a little wrap up on the build, and Alan's going to whinge and complain about 1JZ's Toranas. So see you back at the shed.
What?
We'll wait till the end.
Why?
We'll wait till the end to do a skid. How good's that dash insert? I can't hit. Switch it off. It's very loud.
What?
It's very loud.
Yeah.
How good is it that you can buy a dash insert for your IQ7 for your 1972 Torana and many other vehicles?
How good's this?
Oh, it's got gear select. Oh, I can see you in the mirror, Alan. Hey, buddy.
So much science.
Hey, buddy.
I think we're pretty much done. We've got catch can plumbed up and just a few other little bits and pieces. I haven't put a heat shield on the brake master cylinder yet, just because I like to stir people up. We put the interior in, new carpet and underlay.
Open the door for us.
That speedboat look though, I don't know what Lee was thinking with that carpet. I reckon it was probably the cheapest carpet he could get because of the colour. But it's his car, so he can do what he wants.
It's already dirty because my feet have been in there.
We put new seat belts in the rear because they were not good. We had Dave from Haltech remoted in this morning and fiddled around with some nicety stuff with cold start and throttles, and went into our dash and messed around with that and changed its all its themes and stuff. It's like really adaptable, and you can put different fascias on it and display different things, and yeah, it's really cool. Big fan of the dash actually.
Also shouting out again, Sam, 3D Racing Solutions. I'll leave a link in the description for his website. He makes heaps of dash inserts, 3D printed. This thing's just a prototype for us. We've
given him a bit of feedback about the angles and stuff. It's hard, obviously, when you're not in the car and that you can't really tell where your face angle's going to come in and that, so we've given him a bit of feedback about that, so I'll probably modify it a bit, but it's a good thing. He
made Benny's dash for the Cresta, and he's doing stuff. Actually, Dave from Haltech said he was speaking to him the other day too.
He did.
So shout out to Sam. And what else have we done? Carpet. We seam sealed everything too. I filled up every hole.
Even the ones that we needed to put bolts in, you filled up.
Whoops. Oh well.
This is a couple of things that I'd made for the gear shift position. This is the first one. It's just a bunch of resistors basically.
Can you hold that?
Each gear position goes in through a resistor and then out to ground, and then into a AVI. This was just the first crack at it. We just went up to the J-car shop and bought a bunch of resistors and stuff. It worked, but it was way too close together, so you got sort of a 0 to 5 volt range, and each gear has a voltage. So I Googled and then made another one, which is a similar sort of thing, but I actually copied it off it was like an Arduino page or something. That worked a lot better, but still had some of the gears too close together, so it wouldn't have, because you got like high resistances in the switches on the side of the transmission, it would affect the gear, the voltages. So that we had that in there when we dynoed it, and it did work okay. But in the meantime, Scott from Next Level Motorsport down in Brisbane, he's also a friend of the Hoffs. He's like a Supra sort of specialist.
And a friend of ours.
And a mate of ours. He he was one of the original guys to put auto control before it was actually a feature in the Elite. He did it for his wife Tara's car. It's like a high-powered Supra, but she obviously wanted it to self-shift. So they designed this box which basically does this, but a lot more reliably. It works really well. It uses a 12-volt in, which gets rid of all your resistance problems. And so that, if you want to do auto control on something like this, these cost about $200, and it's basically just a Deutsch connector, really simple. It's got a overdrive switch as well, which I didn't have, and it works. So cheers, Scott and Tara.
I'll leave a link for their website also.
It's obviously got to have a box around it, but it's basically fresh off the whatever the electronics board thing is, and he hadn't had the boxes printed yet, so I've just wrapped it up to protect it, but he'll send us up a box so we can mount it, so that's pretty cool.
Do you want to go further into the auto? So basically this, at the beginning, the reason why we're using the 2500 Elite was because so you can do that?
Yeah, so Lee bought a 750, which is the perfect ECU for this engine if you just want a cable throttle and you don't need any niceties, but because the auto controller just become an actual feature, like a released feature, like they've been obviously working on it for ages, because that's what Haltech does. They make sure it works before they release it. So I was like, yeah, let's have a go at this. Obviously, the car was ready to go. It had an auto in it. We knew it could be done, so we just sort of upgraded to a 2500. And because we're using that, obviously we're going to use e-throttle because it's just so much better than a cable throttle and an idle control motor. It's one of the best things they've ever done for the aftermarket engine management, I reckon.
E-throttled. Yeah. I will say myself, for this kind of street car, having a self-shifting thing, and a guy like Lee, probably not very suited, but if Lee's missus wants to drive the car, sure, go for it. But something like Tara's car, where she does drive that a lot, that Supra, and it's like
it's certainly optional, but a lot of people would prefer to have a self-shifter.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, if you don't want it to self-shift, you just lock it into gear, and it will not go out of that gear. It's not like a friggin' factory car that you lock it into first gear and it changes anyway. It's also got like an upgraded valve body and everything, so it does shift like a performance gearbox. It's probably not going to be the most comfortable thing in the world, but that's it's a fast car, not your wife's car. So
ideally, this is the stage where the car should have been at before you went and saw the Hoff, with the interior and everything back in. It does need a detail. It is absolutely filthy. There's still wasp nests chilling.
I don't do that.
No, I don't do that either. On my own car, maybe. So that's a Lee problem. It's still yet to get rego and
mod plates, rego,
and everything sorted.
Just getting his wheels,
tyres,
re-powder coated, and putting some tyres on it that won't put him into a ditch, maybe. This thing's going to be pretty aggressive on when it comes on. It comes on very hard at 4.5.
I'd love to weigh
5,000 and revs to 8. So yeah, and it wouldn't weigh much at all. Like they're not a big car, so it's going to be pretty wild, I reckon. One thing that we do need to change is the converter. It's nowhere near loose enough for the combo. It's just got a simple sort of modified standard one, so you can only go so far without gutting them and using other parts in them. So it really does need something around the 4.5 mark for this setup. That's why it's so hard to get it to do a skid, because
you just need a manual, Alan.
you just can't get it up into the boost range. So we'll try.
Before we go into the skid, do you want to? One, I'm thirsty, so I want to grab a lemon squash. But two, you want to sit down and obviously wrap up the whole build from start to finish. And
look how good I am at making electronics, bro.
Yeah, sure you are.
I'm like Andy Wyatt. Cheers, bro.
Cheers, homie. Who's beginning? I know you're just going to rant about the car.
Can't tell you how much of a relief it is to finish this vehicle. It wasn't easy.
Beginning with this, this project was meant to happen probably a year ago now, longer.
Yeah.
And stuff like originally when Lee was ordering the fuel tank or ordering bits through Golby's, it was like, the fuel tank was like a 6-week wait. And he's like, it's going to be 6 weeks.
Hope that's not going to hold you up.
Yeah. And that ended up being a year later. And we have been a bit behind with filming wise. So this has been done week to week. Ever since you saw episode 1 was when we started filming. The next episode we would film ahead. I think I've mentioned that a few times now.
Which is probably half the stress that
caused for you.
It's not just working on the car, it's just having to have the video sorted, which kind of takes precedence for us really, because that's what we do. But anyway.
Question 1.
We haven't done one of these for a while actually,
the wrap-ups?
The wrap-up thing, but I think this car deserves it.
1JZGTE Torana. Fire away.
I certainly wouldn't recommend it. There's just too much stuff that isn't right, and it's an excellent engine, 1 and 2J, of course, but it's just not the right fit for this car, and I don't think people really understand that until they see what we've had to do. There's the front sump doesn't work, the back sump doesn't work. What do you do?
Yeah.
Like it's not that. It's just not simple. We even talked about maybe making a full rear sump for a JZ, like casting one, but there's just not enough call for something like that. But that's what it needs. For that reason, I would say that an RB is probably a better choice if you want a sort of decent 6-cylinder.
What about a 202?
If you want to be traditional, yeah, go 202. But RB, you can get a full rear out of a Patrol, and they're sort of super deep, but they're very easy to modify. You just sort of cut the cap off it and then weld it back on. So I think an RB is probably a better choice in this case.
Definitely.
Which is probably why there's shitloads of them around.
Yeah.
They are a good engine, and you can sort of go anywhere with an RB you can with a JZ. It's just more expensive and probably a little bit less reliable.
It's like insert oil pump gear job.
Yeah. But yeah, that's also an option. You could put LSs and stuff in them, but like in Queensland you can't because it's not legal.
The legalities.
That's why it's a very small car, so power to weight or weight to capacity is not happening. Like I don't think you can even put a 253 in them. So
really?
4.2 litre engine, like it's lower than that.
But this was already mod plated for Frito.
Yeah, because it was done years ago before they changed the laws, which is why we should have put a K24 in it.
Yeah. We should definitely do some K24 stuff. I want to do it before the Hoff does. Or we should make a challenge for the Hoff.
Hoff's always chopping us on all cool stuff.
Yeah, well.
It's probably because he just gets in and does it. We talk shit and drink lemon squash too much.
Yeah, that's right. When we originally started the build, we had, with Golby, we started with 2 engines. There was a 1JZ and a 2JZ. The big block wheel returned one day. Still tossing up ideas. We had a plan with it. The plan kind of went sideways, and then...
The longer you leave builds,
and then
the more the plans change.
A car from Arizona.
Probably more me, changing my mind all the time.
Yeah. You got to do what Alan says, otherwise it doesn't happen. Lots of stuff coming up in the future. Patrol, you all know what's happening. It's coming soon. We've got other stuff happening first. And that's...
We're going to give ourselves a head start by... We've got some stuff saved up.
That's going to be a week-to-week build also.
That we're going to throw in, probably a month or so worth of episodes while we get started on the Patrol, just to give ourselves a bit of space so we don't end up like this.
So if you like 4-wheel drives, Make sure you're watching. Tell your mates about it too when the video comes out because it's going to be a killer car.
Yeah, it's going to be the toughest ZD30.
Clackety clack.
Tough.
It still runs, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be so good.
If we put compounds on it, it'll make up for the piston with a hole in it.
Yeah. And anything else? Wrap it up. Go. Finish. Get ready to come pick the car up.
Merchandising, you can see.
Yeah.
You can see me repping my. We call this the summer pack. Aussie summer pack, because it's summer in Australia. Stubby cooler, beefcake muscle shirt thing, and a fresh off the press turbo bucket hat. So you can rep at the festival.
And a sticker and a Millsy sticker.
And a free Millsy sticker, because we got heaps of them.
For free.
Also, limited rerun of these. Who put schmutz on it?
I didn't do that.
Kingswood shirts. We only did a very, very light run of them, and people have sort of we were always asking for them again. So we're going to do them just before Christmas. So for the next couple of weeks, you can pre-order it, and you'll get it in early December. Good Christmas present for Kingswood fanatics. So get on that.
Good Christmas present for your Holden, mate. Why didn't we do a Torana t-shirt?
I don't know. Does Toronto even have an emblem?
No, I think it's just got the line.
What would it look like that?
The iron line. Also, we didn't get onto Nick Brewing in time.
No, it annoyed me too much to make a t-shirt out of it. We might put some Wave Zone Aqua men's swim shorts on the store too if you want to be like Lee.
That's not happening. I reckon we're going to wrap it up because this is going to be a long episode. Massive, huge thank you to everyone who clicked on the GoFundMe last week. Absolute legends. So much money was raised for Owen's family, and
It's going to make a big difference for him in this
it means a lot.
pretty shitty time. So
It's a huge thing, and great to know. Great to see so many familiar faces. As soon as I released the video on Patreon, all you Patreons jumping on there, was really cool to see. And not small amounts either. There's some big dollar amounts there, which is really cool. So really generous. Thank you so much, guys. We're done with the Torana. Lee is going to take this home. I'm going to go to a Happy Laps event, something in the future.
I reckon Lakeside would be.
Bend it in half.
Lakeside's just up the road from Wampuran, so
The Hoff reckons that after a few hits off the line, this thing's going to bend. So he said, make it last. It is made of cheese, so
it needs a converter.
yeah, all that. It still needs like firewall patches and stuff like that there. You gonna leave them
What patch?
into the cowling there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fine. Needs a bonnet scoop.
yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Torana's done. On to the next stuff. Nothing else. Done and dusted. Cheers.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.